Self-styled good Christian reality TV star Josh Duggar has been arrested. For what? Doing something very, very bad. He was caught downloading child porn. So Josh Duggar, who was a one-time reality TV star and anti-LGBT Christian activist, has been charged with downloading and possessing child pornography off of the internet. In new charging documents released on Friday, federal prosecutors alleged the 33-year-old Duggar used the internet to download child sexual abuse image material, some of which features children under the age of 12. So it's disgusting. Disgusting, horrible human being. Duggar, who was arrested on Thursday night by federal marshals, pled not guilty to the charges. Found guilty, Duggar would face up to 20 years in prison. I could pretend to be surprised by this, but why? We all saw this one coming. I mean, honestly, is anybody at all surprised? Josh Duggar has always been a creep. He was the guy who molested his own sisters as a child. Are we at all, again, surprised that this has happened? No. In fact, the news was not a shock. As Parker Malloy put it, oh man, Josh Duggar got arrested for possession of child porn. What a total surprise. Nope. Can't even tweet that with a straight face. Of course he was charged with possession of child porn because he's a total creep. Another person says, the Duggars made excuses when Josh molested his own sisters. Now that he's in jail and charged with possession, that's what happens. You excuse pedophiles, child molesters. He can't be in the same home with his own children now. Well, I mean, he will likely go to prison. So there you go. Good luck spinning this one, GOP. And I'm going to explain how the Republican Party is full of child molesters. Ms. Betty Bauer points out, between Matt Gaetz and Josh Duggar, this hasn't been a good week for creepy men who prey on underage girls. Good. Wow, what a surprise. Another person says, cult that teaches that women are 100% responsible for men's actions produced a pedophile. So now let me give you some details on the Duggar family. They practice this thing called the quiverful movement, right? And that basically reduces women to broodmares. The Duggar family, basically, all the females in the Duggar family are supposed to pump out as many kids as they can. Well, ironically, preaching against the degeneracy of being LGBTQ+. It's pretty strange, but it seems like those who scream so much about degeneracy are often the ones that end up doing the degeneracy. But yeah, the far right tends to teach people that women are evil temptresses that are here to take you away from Jesus, and that's why women have to be modest and subservient, and it's super creepy stuff on its own. And at the same time, that leads to the situations where you have grooming. Young girls being groomed to be basically trad wives and to have as many babies as they can. So again, this is not a surprise to see something like this coming out of the quiverful movement. And this is essentially a religious cult. And I think a lot of cults, honestly, I think that a lot of cults are started for the express purpose of using your power to have sex with somebody's wife or their kids. Honestly, that's what I think. Or both. It's disgusting. But that's generally why people start cults. It's true. And it's important to note also that this person has a lot of associations with right-wing political figures. In fact, here is just some of the figures that Josh Duggar has been photographed with. You know, so here you got Rick Santorum, Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and more. Marco Rubio as well. And by the way, Ted Cruz tweeting out incest porn. Accidentally. Again, goes back to complete projection. Remember when was it Alex Jones accidentally showed his picture or his phone full of transgender porn? Come on. And yet, of course, According to them, it's gay and trans people that are the real degenerates. They're the real problem. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all are ridiculous. In fact, by the way, Florida, home of Matt Gaetz and Marco Rubio, just passed an 11th hour bill that would ban transgender youth from playing sports consistent with their gender identity. So, come on. They claim to be against pedophiles, and yet their party seems to be riddled with them. Very strange. It's almost as if it's all projection, and Republicans happen to be the party that protects pedophiles the most. I mean, look at Roy Moore. Look at Dennis Hastert. Look at Florida General Counsel Eric Lipman, Ben Gibson of Louisiana. QAnon member, by the way. Part of QAnon, but also arrested on 4 counts of possessing child pornography. Oops. Gibson, by the way, ran as a Republican in the November 3rd election against Mike Johnson for the seat of Louisiana's 4th Congressional District. George Nader, an informal advisor to Trump's 2016 campaign. By the way, he testified in the Mueller probe, also pled guilty to charges of sex trafficking and possessing child porn. He was first charged in June of 2019 with transporting and possessing images featuring toddler-age boys, baby goats, and other farm animals. What the fuck? No, that's who these people are. So, on and on. There's a gigantic list of so-called pro-family, pro-LGBT, or I'm sorry, anti-LGBT conservatives. And they get caught doing the most horrendous things. And while you have had cases of Democrats or donors, like, for example, Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, you know, they've done some pretty horrible things and abuse their power for sex as well, or even do straight up pedophilia. I'm going to call it. It's not even close. QAnon's Republican projection. That's what it is. And so here's why. Here's why these people flock towards conservatives. Okay? It's mainly because of religious organizations where you have the established hierarchies, you've got traditional values, you've got places where women are considered people, where they can't consent, where they can't say no, where critical thinking is discouraged and people believe in the so-called natural order of things. And I'm not saying religion bad by any means, right? Believe whatever deity you want. But organized institutional religion, like the Catholic Church, for example, it is well known as a hotbed of abusing children. And very, very few conservatives are willing to take that on. But they are more than happy to accuse pizza shop owners of holding children in their basements, with no evidence, by the way. That's why I say projection. They project onto others where many of in their movement have been guilty of, or may have done. Now, I happen to believe that it's power. Power is the biggest thing that attracts predators. Predators want to be in positions of power and influence so they can more easily reach their prey. Okay? I think it's easier, it just happens to be easier to dupe Republicans than it is to dupe other people. So they generally naturally gravitate towards becoming conservative, religious, or leaders or politicians. Just like racists tend to gravitate towards being cops. When you have that power, it's real easy to abuse it. And again, that's also why you see some predators gravitate to being Democratic politicians. It's power. So, yeah, it's a bit of a tangent, but I think it does go, this helps to explain what we're seeing all over in the current conservative movement. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.